So upgraded technology for the classrooms. We will be improving the natural lighting here at the school.
Right now, we would estimate that building a new school like this would be somewhere between $250 and $300 million. And we think this is about an $85 million renovation overall. So there's a huge difference in savings to the taxpayers.
Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. They are building for the future at West Jordan High School in more ways than one right now, as extensive renovations begin inside the 45-year-old building. On this episode of the Supercast, we take you inside West Jordan High School, where an extreme makeover will transform many parts of the school, bringing it up to date and into more modern times. It's a makeover that is expected to save district taxpayers more than $100 million compared to the cost of a full rebuild. Let's check it out. We are at West Jordan High School talking with several of the people involved in the extensive remodel that has begun this summer. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Mike Hutchings, the principal here at West Jordan High School.
Scott Thomas, Administrator of Auxiliary Services.
And Ian Roberts, the Director of Facility Services.
Ian, tell us a little bit about the overall timeline and the need for remodeling West Jordan High School.
So overall timeline of this project, we're looking at doing it in 3 phases, beginning currently. So we are under construction as we speak, and we'll complete the construction in fall of 2029. We're going to be doing a handful of updates to the finishes in the building, which include floor, ceiling, walls. I'm going to do some updates to some lighting, some plumbing, mechanical systems, life safety, ADA compliance, and then a couple little additions to accommodate some of the needs of the school.
2029 sounds like a long ways away unless you're responsible for completing the entire renovation of West Jordan High School by that time. Then it feels pretty close. Yeah. What are some of the enhancements that West Jordan will enjoy? What are some things that will be available that aren't currently available?
So upgraded technology for the classrooms. So we will kind of be on par with a lot of our other high schools, and the equipment that they've got in their spaces. We will be improving the natural lighting here at the school. So the commons area is actually going to raise, and then we're going to cut in some additional windows throughout to kind of help with the staff and students' well-being here at the school. And then obviously the additions and classrooms going to fulfill the needs that the schools have got there as well.
We're going to walk through the building in a few minutes, but Scott, tell us about how this fits in with other renovation projects we've done. This is the second high school renovation.
Correct. We did Bingham High several years ago, and this fits in well with that. I mean, we're going to end up saving a lot of money by doing this renovation versus building a new school.
Talk about the difference in price between a renovation and building a new school.
Well, right now we would estimate that building a new school like this would be somewhere between $250 and $300 million. And we think this is about an $85 million renovation overall. So there's a huge difference in savings to the taxpayers. And we feel good about that. We know that every area of this building will be touched to some degree. And we're just excited for the outcome and for the improvements that everybody will enjoy.
And Bingham was our first high school renovation.
Correct.
Now West Jordan. West Jordan is the oldest high school that has not been renovated. Bingham
Correct.
was the older building.
Correct. Yep.
And talk to me about what the staging process has been. All those portables out front and And what's the plan for allowing this to go a little faster than it might if we were
Sure.
restricted to those summers that seem shorter and shorter every year?
Yeah, well, we learned some things in the Bingham renovation. We have nine good weeks in the summer to try and get an awful lot of work done, and so we learned from the Bingham renovation. We were a little more strategic on this project, in that we decided we'd work on it year round. We'd take larger bites during the summer months and smaller bites during the school year, and to accommodate that, we moved in 12 portables out in the parking lot. We created some additional parking that when this project is over, the school will enjoy some enhanced and greater parking. But we moved some portable classrooms out there so that we can take those smaller bites during the school year and still accommodate the teaching and learning needs of our students.
What is the expected lifespan of this school once it's been renovated? This takes care of some seismic issues, technology issues, makes spaces available in the school that weren't thought of when the school was built. So with all those enhancements, how long do we expect the building to last?
We would expect this building, after everything's done, to last at least another 40 years. It really extends the life of this building.
Talk to me from the principal's perspective. What are some of the things you're looking forward to most? And how are people feeling about having the renovation? It gets worse before it gets better, but it gets a lot better.
Yes, I think overall people are pretty excited about it and are willing to go through some difficult times here in the next couple years to get to that end result. But as we went through and planned this, we walked through several high schools, some brand new, some remodels. And one thing that I felt was pretty interesting was in some of the remodels, there were just bits and pieces of areas that were touched. Here, the plan is every classroom, every part of the building is going to be remodeled. And so we're excited about the additions, we're excited about just the overall better learning spaces that we'll have, and there's just a lot to be excited about.
And that's something to keep in mind. There's a lot of intentionality about deciding how those learning spaces are structured and making sure that this is an environment where it's enjoyable to be for 8 hours a day. And there are some very specific things we can do to enhance learning in terms of making sure the learning environment is everything it ought to be. It also helps with school spirit to have this new exciting building and to have the update. It's kind of the best of both worlds. It's an update, but it's also the traditional building that everyone is fond of and connected to.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, even though we aren't at the point of enjoying the new parts yet, just the fact that we're starting to see some changes in the building has brought a lot of excitement and school spirit.
We've seen a lot of interest from the community as well, people who went to West Jordan, who are excited to see things updated. And now you were able to sit down and be part of the discussions about what was needed. What were some of the things you talked about?
Yeah, like I said, we felt like it was important that, first of all, the classrooms were addressed. And so we have new technology. We have plans of having ceiling to floor whiteboards, just a lot of things built in that we feel like could facilitate better learning. Some smaller areas outside of the classroom where students can meet in small group situations, discuss things, come up with projects, those things. But yeah, it was a pretty extensive project. As we looked back at just the planning stages of it, I looked back at my email just to get some information about some things I needed to discuss with somebody, and some of those discussions started well over a year ago.
Yeah,
and so
a lot of work, a lot of thought, and a lot of planning gone into it, and the board wrestled a lot with exactly what to do, and I think everyone's excited about the path that we chose, where we save a lot of money, but we get a lot of advantages for students once this renovation is done. But it's also exciting to be part of it, to be here and to see the transformation, which is what we're going to do now. Let's walk out and take a look at some of the changes that are happening now. Stay with us when we come back. More inside the renovation at West Jordan High School.
Never miss an episode of the Supercast by liking and subscribing on your favorite podcasting platform. Find transcripts for this episode and others at supercast.jordandistrict.org.
Does your student want to become a veterinarian, commercial pilot, programmer? Maybe they want to make a difference as a dental assistant. These are just some of the programs offered as part of Career and Technical Education, CTE, in Jordan School District. CTE provides the technical skills needed to prepare students for future employment or for a successful transition to post-secondary education. Career and Technical Education provides work-based learning opportunities. We partner with industry experts to offer apprenticeships and internships with students working in the real world at real jobs while going to school. The CTE experience starts in our elementary schools with the Kids Marketplace and grows through middle and high school. To explore all CTE has to offer in Jordan School District, visit cte.jordandistrict.org today, and let's get your child started on the pathway to a profession.
Now, Hutch, how long have you been principal here?
This is going into my 4th year.
Into your 4th year, and you've done some rebranding in addition to the remodeling. You changed the logos, and there's some Easter eggs in those logos.
Yeah, we did. We, in fact, on one of the logos, we have the number of spots on the Jaguar, the number of people in the first graduating class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which is,
I can't remember what the exact number, but it was around in the 120s, if I remember correctly.
Wow, that's so cool. That is great. Now we're in the jackhammer zone. Things are happening. We're going past the sign that says danger, construction, keep out, and we're into the commons area here. Wow, that looks really big when there are no tables here. So, Ian, talk to us about what's happening here in the commons.
So here in the commons, we're actually going to bring the floor up. It is recessed currently. We're actually going to bring everything up to the same level. It'll help us with some ADA accessibility. In addition to the floor, we are going to raise the ceiling and add some lights or some windows to bring in more of that natural light and to make it look a little more.
The larger the room, the
presentable.
higher the ceiling needs to be so you don't feel like you're trapped in this little very claustrophobic space.
Absolutely.
So raising the floor and raising the ceiling, some additional lighting, and those are some things that have happened in other schools, not just the Bingham remodel as well.
That is correct. So I don't want to say that we've modeled this after Alta, but we definitely got some ideas from the construction that's taken place there.
And we have multiple buildings in the district, and Alta, of course, was previously part of Jordan School District. So at various times, in various stages, we would adopt a model and then build multiple high schools or elementaries with that same floor plan, and then kind of modify as the years go on. So we've learned from the remodel of Alta, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Hutch, talk about how this space is used by students and how this is going to help once we have a more inviting space here.
So this is definitely one of the gathering spaces in the school. One thing that I'm excited about is we have a few spaces that are multi-use spaces that can be used for some classroom instruction, some meetings, banquets, a whole host of things. And so this is one. The tech atrium is probably the room that I'm most excited about in the building. It will have some big screen TVs up in the front, retractable seating, so it can be used for some large meetings as well as some banquets and being able to move tables in and have some small group things as well.
Now, I understand that as part of the demolition, you uncovered a board signed by some student body officers with a statement about a rival school. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
We will not name that school, but I'm wondering whether you are going to hide anything in this remodel, maybe sign a board or bury a time capsule or something. Are there any plans for memorializing yourself or your student body officers here?
We don't have any specific plans yet, but I can guarantee that we will build that in somehow.
Well, what I just heard is that you aren't going to tell me what your plans are, but you have it all cooked up and ready to go.
You might be right.
Okay, all right, perfect. That's fair enough. All right, let's take a look at the gymnasium. One of the features of schools built this way is that you have one large gym to divide off rather than separate gyms.
Correct. So we have, three gyms in one currently.
And what are the changes that are going to happen here?
So as far as the gym itself goes, we will still have the gym that's on the far west side. We'll have the main gym in the middle, but then on the east side, on that third gym, we will be building a hallway between the two gyms, and we'll have an additional auxiliary gym that we'll be able to use.
That's going to be nice to be able to be in a completely separate room, because right now a curtain just doesn't do the trick.
Correct. And so you imagine cheer and drill trying to practice at the same time with their different music, those type of things. It'll be possible to have them practice at the same time in the two different gyms.
And I think it would be easy to underestimate just how many activities are going on at a high school and just how much space you need to be sure students have all those opportunities.
Yeah, our gyms are currently used nonstop.
All right, we just opened the door going outside from the gym, and we walk into lots of dirt. That will be the new weight room. Talk to us about this, Scott.
I'll let Ian take this one.
All right. Ian, tell us about how this dirt is going to turn into a weight room and the need for that.
So yeah, they've gone ahead and excavated the asphalt and concrete in this area. Going to add some footings and foundation walls. And this particular space is going to house the dance room, the weight room, and the aerobics.
And these are amenities that have not been available previously. The weight room was here, but it was very small.
Pretty similar with each of these programs, I believe.
I mean, I'm a guy who needs a large weight room. I need a lot of variety, work all those muscle groups, and I'm glad these kids will be able to do that. Hutch, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, yes.
All right. So how about parking spaces ultimately? Again, this is a situation where it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is part of the driver ed lot and the parking lot. What's the net result on parking space?
I believe we will equal out when this project is complete. So once those portable classrooms move out of the front of the school, I believe we're going to maintain the same amount of parking that we've had. In this back area where we have taken some parking, we are going to expand to the west to create some additional parking, which the new building footprint has overtaken.
And it's West Jordan has always enjoyed a larger footprint, I think, than a lot of our schools. So there's space to expand and still have lots of practice fields out there.
Correct. Yeah, we'll have to coordinate a little bit better on some of the spaces that we do currently have. But the great thing about West Jordan High School is there is a lot of grass space that we will be able to maintain.
And they're having some nice upgrades out back with concession stand in the not too distant past, and good field space and a great stadium out there. Tell me about the black box theater that we're adding.
So right now we have some small theater presentations that we put some seating up on stage and just have an intimate performance there. We'll be able to use that black box theater for those type of performances. And in addition to that, we'll just be able to use it for a lot of our arts needs to be able to perform and practice and those type of things.
Lots of performances can be held there, and meetings and that sort of thing. And again, that's something that other schools have had access to that, because of the age of the building, just wasn't included in the original plans for West Jordan High School.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we'll be able to use it as a classroom by our theater teacher, so it'll be used on a daily basis.
Now, the auditorium here actually has a feature that no other auditorium has, and that's closing off those rooms at the back corners of the auditorium. I've always thought that was interesting. These tracks and these walls that you can close in to get a couple of enclosed classrooms at the back of the auditorium during the school day.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, those accordion doors.
Yeah, you're going to have to give up those accordion doors probably. Can you spare those?
So the black box theater space will be right here.
Okay.
And so in addition to that black box space, it's going to be nice because we're going to have some large entry doors, and these doors will be larger as well. So it's going to be easier to get props in and out to be able to use with the auditorium.
Great. Well, this is really exciting. Can't wait to see it, and I'm glad you're here to set that vision and really create a legacy here at West Jordan for decades to come.
We're all very excited about it.
Ian, Scott, thanks for all your hard work making this possible, putting our taxpayer dollars to great use and saving money and creating an incredible space for students.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.